We continue our startup pitch with another startup called Eco Analytics, and its co-founder and COO is waiting to give you more information about how to supercharge your campaigns in a cookieless world. Leverage geotargeting now with Adam Esmond. Welcome.
Hi, hello everyone. My name is Adam Esmond. I'm one of the co-founders at Eco Analytics and also the COO. And today I'm here to talk to you about the cookieless world and where geospatial kind of fits in all of this and geotargeting. But first I want to say I'm not here to preach about the cookie apocalypse. I think there have been so many other people doing this before me, and there will be so many people doing this after I finish speaking. I'm actually here to talk about the slow death of cookies, because we were talking about the cookie apocalypse for the last 5 years or so, and changing the way in which we target. However, what cookies are has evolved over time drastically. So first of all, cookies expire much faster than they used to 5 years ago, sometimes even before the session ends. And it all depends on the setup. However, they expire really, really fast. Second big change is consumers. All of us go on websites and decline cookies because we don't actually want to be targeted in this way. And all of this leads to segments that are much less precise because you simply get less history, right? So you cannot really create a segment that is as relevant as it used to be. And last but not least, there is the everlasting privacy compliance. And the compliance not only coming from the regulators, so GDPR, CCPA, and all the regulations out there, but also from the big tech platforms like Google, Apple, them kind of really changing the way in which their platforms work and go about privacy. So with all of this, it's paramount to shift your strategies in terms of how you do segmentation, how you do advertising, not simply because the cookie apocalypse is coming, but because it's kind of already here, and we need to change the way in which we do things. And all of this, the solution here is geotargeting, especially for us. So to give you a little bit of an insight of what we do, we're actually a data company helping companies to better understand the real world through geospatial data. So we collect lots of data sets about physical places. So you have point of interest here is where different restaurants, the shapes of buildings in which those restaurants are that help more precise attribution, as also the traffic in the real world of human beings. Where do people go? What shops do they visit? What do they do? Where they come from? Where they go to afterwards? And geotargeting as a strategy is extremely powerful because it's a real alternative to cookies and the way to target in a more contextual way. So first of all, it connects the offline and online world, because the online users that have their mobile phones in their hands do things in the offline world. Catching those behaviors is extremely powerful. Second, it provides location-based behavior insights. So it's not just something that someone Googled or entered a URL. It's actually providing information on where they are and what type of intent are they taking in the real world. It is also cost efficient, and this comes to the volume of cookies and different types of IDs out there that is steadily decreasing over time. If you do geotargeting on area levels, on specific geofences, you can reach much higher audience, actually, that is contextually much more relevant, therefore cost efficient, and it is compliant with privacy regulations. But let's circle back on that. So how can you actually make sure that you can show relevant ads, relevant content without using any personal data. Because right now, it is a bit of a synonym, right? Personalization and good ads. Well, not exactly. First of all, there's proximity targeting. So taking a location and basically advertising in a larger geofence around it. So providing some context based on this. Second of all, there is audience targeting. So taking an audience that takes basically behaviors that were observed over a larger period of time and targeting those users based on those behaviors. Okay, but how would it work in practice? So let's say you're building a campaign for a company like Railway. What you're going to do first is define locations, right? So you need to actually know where those locations are. So you take Rewe stores, you take Edeka stores. Here in Germany, there's usually a bakery with Rewe and Edeka. Understanding this context, understanding where is the nearest pharmacy, not only understanding the context of the client locations themselves, but also of the larger context around them. What is there? And then understanding cross-visitation behaviors. Okay, I go to Rewe, but what have I done before? And what have I done after I went? And that's an extremely important insight to build context without necessarily getting any personal information of users. And then deciding where to advertise. Deciding on where and when to advertise based on moments and based on behaviors that people show in the real world. And all of this can be done in a completely privacy compliant way because it can be aggregated on a zip code level. So what we do, and a lot of work we're putting at Echo Analytics, is to make sure that we aggregate all of those insights on user movement, user behavior, on formats that are easily understandable by DSPs and able to enrich the audiences and segments that you might be running today. So, of course, you still get demographic data with this because that's a core of how geotargeting was founded, basically on creating demographic segments. But it adds this customer behavior and adds this mobility trends without compromising any privacy. And that's more or less my time. You can visit us here, right there at the Echo booth over here if you have any more questions. I want to thank you very much for your time, and hopefully we get a good discussion going now. Thank you.